Hello and welcome. My name is Rod Turner. I'm the president and CEO of Manhattan Street Capital, and we're delighted to be hosting the Regulation A Plus offering for CubCrafters. And in today's webinar, I'm pleased to introduce Patrick Horgan, who is the president and CEO of CubCrafters. Please introduce yourself, Pat.
I'm Pat. I'm the president of CubCrafters. Been an aviator since I was 15 years old and built an experimental airplane in the garage as a high schooler and been following aviation all my life. I started my career as an aircraft designer with an aeronautical engineering background on fighter jets and commercial aircraft. And I've been the president. I've been with CubCrafters almost 10 years and been the president since 2018. Really excited about our company, our people, and our mission, and the outpouring of questions that came in for this webinar. So appreciative of the opportunity to spend some time today.
I'd like to also introduce Brad Dahm, who is the vice president of CubCrafters. Welcome, Brad.
Hi, I'm Brad Dahm. I've been with CubCrafters just over 10 years. Started my flying career at 19 when I bought my first airplane, a J3 Cub. Been involved in backcountry aviation ever since. And here at CubCrafters, I handle a lot of the customer-facing side of the business, sales, marketing, those sorts of things. Happy to be here. Happy to answer these questions. Thanks, Rod.
Thank you, Brad. So I have a question for you, Pat. Could you provide a brief overview of CubCrafters and its mission in the aviation industry?
CubCrafters is a preeminent builder of backcountry adventure aircraft. We have our Carbon Cub line as well as our X Cub line. So we're the only factory that we're aware of that's building FAA certified ASTM light sport as well as experimental builder assist and kits. So we're about meeting customer expectations with aircraft that access our world in very unique ways and building the best airplanes in our class.
Thank you, Pat. So I've got a question for you, Brad. Paul in California asks, how do you define the adventure aircraft market and how are you positioned in this market?
Hi, Paul. The adventure aircraft market, adventure airplanes themselves, are airplanes that allow pilots, that allow the public to access the backcountry, access places where normal airplanes can't go. So behind me, I've got one of our float planes. That's a X Cub on floats. So that's an airplane that's capable of landing both on a runway or landing on a lake or another body of water. And that's a great example of an adventure airplane. You can go do things with that type of airplane you can't do with your run-of-the-mill Cessna or business jet or a more transportation-oriented airplane. So we build adventure airplanes here at CubCrafters. Typically, they're two-place tandem airplanes, which means that you've got a pilot and a passenger. Oftentimes, you'll be taking camping gear, that sort of thing. But our airplanes are also used by the government for Fish and Wildlife Survey. They're used for search and rescue operations. They're used for law enforcement. So there's a wide range of application for these types of airplanes. The market itself is probably 300 to 400 airplanes a year in the United States, and CubCrafters has about half of that market share right now.
So a question for you, Pat. Bill in Montana and Jonathan in Florida ask a similar question. How does CubCrafters decide which new developments to work on?
Thanks, Bill and Jonathan. Yeah, that's an exciting part of what we are able to do here. CubCrafters is an innovation company, and we're always looking to use current day technology and advanced technology to improve our products to meet our customers' demands. We have a process by which we use market surveys whenever we're developing something new, where the customer is a part of that process, where they get to see some of the developments we're doing and give input to how to make it better, how to change it. And we have a phase by which we're improving our product before we even bring it to market. So the innovation side of our business, we have a turnkey internal capability where we're conceptualizing, we're designing, we're testing, and in our Area X, which is an annex where we're developing and innovating new products all the time. We have a series of flight test aircraft. Right now, I think we have 3 or 4 in different projects that are dedicated. And the way we go about that is to prioritize our product roadmap based on what we're trying to achieve now in our certified airplane, as well as our experimental and our light sport. And as we go forward, those get adjusted based on the opportunities and most importantly, meeting our customers' desires for advancements and new aircraft.
Thank you, Pat. Have another question here. This is from Tomas in Florida. How will you be reinvesting funds from the capital raise? I like the slats development and the skis company you bought. They look like interesting moves to me, he says.
Well, thanks for that. Yeah, the use of the funds is being used in a variety of ways to accelerate our production, meet our demands. We've had typically a 2-year backlog, so our demand has outweighed our supply, and that is one use to expand our infrastructure. We're modernizing our production. We've added some robotics and some other growth efforts. Also expanding our infrastructure and our customer services and our aftermarket services, since we're producing more aircraft now and need to have good customer service backing that. The use of funds allows us to expand into international markets. It allows us to expand our production, and it allows us to move at a pace that's a little bit quicker than if we were just to do it organically.
So, a question for you, Brad. Tim asks, is there currently a waiting list for your aircraft? And if so, how long is the wait?
Hi, Tim. Yeah, we've been blessed with great sales the last several years. The waiting list for our airplane typically is 1 to 2 years long. We've been recently, like Pat said, we've got a backlog in excess of 2 years. Our production improvements, the faster pace of building airplanes have brought that down a little bit. Right now, our backlog is 18 months. I'm sitting here in our delivery hangar. Airplanes in our delivery hangar. We've got to deliver an airplane every 3 days. We typically sell an airplane every 3 days. And the backlog's pretty stable right now at about 18 months. When a customer gives us a new deposit, they can expect an airplane delivery in the spring of 2025 right now.
I have another question for Pat. This question is from Frank in Illinois. What made you decide to offer your shares to the public after more than 40 years as a private company at CubCrafters?
Thanks, Frank. That's a great question. As an established 40-year company, we have always organically funded the developments and our operation. Our company was founded by Jim Richmond. It's a very kind of a typical classic success story when it comes to an American business that started out with just him in his garage and has expanded to what we've become today as a leader in the general aviation market. And we've always organically funded, meaning the X-Cub would be a good example. It was developed over 6 years quietly in our Area X, which is our skunk works, if you would. We didn't take customer deposits in advance. Jim didn't believe in that. We actually developed it on our own accord over 6 years and did all the design certification and offered it to the public when it actually existed and was in production. And we could continue to operate that way. We could continue to organically fund what we do. But the availability of offering shares to our customers was actually an idea coined by Jim, so that we could accelerate our growth. We could expand our operations in terms of accelerating our production. We can expand our international markets in terms of product that are specified for those markets. And it really allows us to meet the customer demands.
The question for you, Brad. Stan in New York would like to hear about some of the more interesting missions that CubCrafters airplanes have been used for.
Hi, Stan. Our airplanes are used for a lot of interesting missions. There are missions in Africa where NGOs, non-governmental organizations, are using the airplanes to control wildlife poaching, elephant poaching in particular. The airplanes are used all over Alaska for wildlife survey, search and rescue, law enforcement. So the National Park Service uses our airplanes for law enforcement. U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service uses them for a lot of wildlife surveys in Alaska that ultimately are how Canada and the United States set hunting limits for things like migratory birds. All that starts with a wildlife survey being done out of one of our airplanes. Consumers use our airplanes worldwide, backcountry adventure flying. We've got airplanes in Africa where customers are going out and flying over Angel Falls or camping on the slopes of Mount Kilimanjaro. We've got customers here in the United States that use the airplanes to tour the Grand Canyon, tour the Mojave Desert, those sorts of things. There's great backcountry flying opportunities in Idaho. There's great, I was just down in Arkansas a couple of weeks ago, and there's a great backcountry flying down there. It's a hugely popular sport down in the Southeast United States. Also flying patients out to places where they can get more advanced medical care. So if you're in a remote area in Mexico and the patient needs to go in for a procedure at a hospital or at a clinic that's not available out in those remote areas, they'll use the airplane to fly that patient in to get that procedure done or to get that test done. So there's a lot of interesting missions that go on, everything from the government side, the commercial side, and the recreational side of these airplanes. They're widely used.
So a question for you, Pat. Where do you expect growth in sales and profits to come from in the next 10 years?
Well, the next 10 years will be hopefully similar to our prior in that we're going to continue to innovate our products for our customers' desires. And we're continuing to grow our infrastructure in terms of our aftermarket support and services. We produce so many more aircraft now. We're producing at a much higher rate. So growing that side of our business and those profit centers as well is a priority for us. And in the next 10 years, it'll be important.
I really see two areas that will see growth in sales and growth in profits. One is international sales. 8 to 10% of our sales currently go into the international market, whereas we believe about half the demand globally for these types of airplanes is international. We've got opportunities there, and we've designed a new airplane to take care of those opportunities, the Carbon Cub UL. It's a Rotax-powered airplane. It is a multi-fuel technology airplane, so it can run aviation gasoline, it can run auto gasoline, and Rotax has a really robust international service center network that we'll be able to take advantage of with their power plant on our airframe. The other place that I really see sales growth starting is with our X-Cub in government and fleet sales. We've got a contract for USDA to provide new airplanes for their wildlife services division. They recently doubled the size of the contract, doubled the number of airplanes they're going to purchase under that. And they're looking at adding, again, another third to that contract going forward is the discussion right now. Here, we've supplied airplanes to the United States Department of the Interior for many years, and they use our Top Cub airplane. And they're looking at buying the X-Cub and upgrading their fleet of Top Cubs to X-Cubs over the next 10 years. We've got the U.S. Air Force Academy. Again, they use our Top Cub, or older technology airplane, for glider tow for their cadet airmanship program. And they've got some Cessna airplanes that they use for their precision flying club. They're looking at upgrading those airplanes all to the nose wheel variant of our certified X-Cub. So there's a ton of growth potential for us in the government market as well. And we expect to realize that over the next decade. Glider towing, glider flying is popular. Glider towing, you need an airplane to do that. And there is not anywhere in the world that we're aware of a new production airplane that can be used for glider tow, certified airplane. That's applicable to Europe. That's applicable to the United States. That's applicable to South America. Right here is our nose wheel X-Cub. That's our airplane that has the most powerful engine. It has the best cooling. And there's some reasons from a safety perspective why a nose wheel airplane makes a better tow airplane than a tailwheel airplane does. It's also a two-place tandem airplane, so you can train new glider tow pilots. So we're going through a market survey effort right now where we have on one of our demo airplanes a tow hook. We're going to be out there towing gliders shortly. We're going to listening to the feedback from the customers, the glider clubs, the glider enthusiasts, on how they like our airplane for towing gliders, what we could do to make it better for towing gliders, and if they would consider buying a new nose wheel X-Cub for that glider tow mission. It's another area that we see growth for CubCrafters, is servicing that glider tow market going forward. And it's an active project we have right now. There's a lot of projects like that out there. Our idea queue is deep. And so going forward, those are the types of things CubCrafters will continue to do to expand our market share, expand the missions that our airplanes are capable of, and really be a major player in general aviation in the future.
So, question for you, Pat. Peter in Alaska asks, what is the CubCrafters plan to adjust its use of fossil fuels in the light of potential electric propulsion?
Thanks, Peter. Yeah, absolutely. New fuels and clean fuel technology and electrification is certainly an ever-present in the media when it comes to aviation right now. We're on the forefront of those things. I actually serve on the Eagle Committee, which is industry working with the FAA for clean fuel technology to be released, and we're absolutely making sure that our products are compatible and with the new fuels that are coming down. So fossil fuels will continue. The FAA is focusing on improved clean fuels, and we're a part of that. On the electric side, there's a lot of electric aircraft being developed that require next generation batteries that are not available and probably won't be for some time. We've been monitoring this on the electric and the hybrid side. We actually have a program, an R&D program, where we use electric motors to enhance lift to shorten takeoff and landing with a new patented device that NASA has funded 2 rounds. We're working with NASA right now on a flight test program that's proving out that technology. That's true R&D stuff where it scales beyond our current product line. So we're an innovator, and we're staying absolutely on the forefront of new fuels and clean fuels, as well as electric technology. And it's a part of our future and being prepared for what is the next generation of aircraft. We're going to be there and make sure we have our products that meet those.
Pat, another question here. What are some of the other significant challenges and opportunities that CubCrafters sees in the adventure aircraft and general aviation industry?
Well, challenges and opportunities are many. As a company that now is producing new aircraft at a greater rate, we're putting more and more airplanes in the fleet. That fleet exceeds about 2,000 airplanes and about 100 airplanes plus added each year. So the aftermarket services and the customer support is an important priority for us. The challenge to grow that nation and worldwide, and it's a priority for us. But it's also an opportunity. That's an important part of our business, our legacy business, and a profit center for us. So that's an example of a challenge and an opportunity. General aviation wide, inflationary period that the world is in, supply chain continues, the resounding supply chain challenges that have hit continue to be something that we have to traverse in our business. We're fortunate, and that's an opportunity as well, in that we're still an in-source business. A lot of aerospace businesses have gone to outsource, where a lot of their substructures are made somewhere else. And while we don't build engines and tires and avionics, we build everything else in-house. And that gives us a little bit of an advantage to traverse the challenges of inflation, as well as the supply chain challenges that are ever present in the aviation industry. So those are some of the things that we and others are dealing with.
Brad, I have a question for you. Allison in Pennsylvania is curious about how the Red Bull CubCrafters partnership came about, and are there other collaborations on the cards?
Hi, Allison. The Red Bull CubCrafters partnership, it started with a Red Bull Air Race pilot from Poland who owns a Carbon Cub as his personal fun pleasure airplane. He's into backcountry flying. And he proposed the project a little over 2 years ago. Ultimately, we were able to go do it. We were able to go to Dubai. There were 3 partners on the project: Red Bull, CubCrafters, and Dubai Tourism. And the project turned out great for all of the partners on it. For CubCrafters, it really put us on the international stage in a way we had never been before. It showcased our airplane's ability to land short. It showcased our airplane's ability to take off short, and it really set the stage for the launch of the Carbon Cub UL, our new airplane designed for international markets. We couldn't have reached the audience that we did with that event without Red Bull being on board. For Red Bull, it was a great project for them because they wanted to go do this type of project, and they needed a partner that had the technical expertise to be able to do a project like that and do it safely and do it successfully. I don't know what the exact number is, but it surpassed 1 billion content views back in June, and it's still continuing to climb. As of right now, it's our understanding that this is the largest single project Red Bull has ever done in terms of content views. And so, yeah, that does lead to collaboration and talks and ideas about doing stuff in the future. So I imagine that you'll see more Red Bull CubCrafters collaboration going forward.
Question for you, Pat. Looking ahead, what is CubCrafters' vision for the future of general aviation and adventure aviation, and how do you see CubCrafters contributing to that vision?
Thanks. Well, our vision is to humbly remain the best of class adventure aircraft in the market, and to expand that into international markets. Our new Carbon Cub UL with the Rotex 916 that we just launched, it's obviously a priority, and it brings our vision for international markets to life. We're excited about the stock offering and what that does for expanding our efficiencies, modernizing our factory, being to continue to develop at a greater pace, and respectfully being the best in our market, that our customers, meeting our customers' demands. We involve our customers in the development of our products. We'll continue to do that as we innovate. And we believe our future is bright. Expanding our aftermarket services, our legacy products, is a big priority for us as we produce more and more aircraft. So we have a bright future when we tend to go after that and satisfying our customers and the values that they consider important to the aircraft that meet their dreams and desires.
I think CubCrafters has a really bright future in general aviation. There was a time when general aviation in the United States was shrinking, 70s, 80s. It's gone through a rebound, a resurgence in the last 20 years or so. And the fastest growing segment of general aviation in that rebound is the adventure aircraft market, is the recreational aircraft market. We've seen that at CubCrafters. Other OEMs that are in the same space have seen that as well. And so within general aviation overall, the most exciting place to be is right where CubCrafters is, in this market segment of personal adventure aviation. How do I see that growing for us, or how do I see that manifesting itself for CubCrafters? We're going to continue to be the best of class airplanes. Pat's committed to that. I'm committed to that. That's where we've always done the best, is dedicating this company to having best of class products, best of class airplanes, best of class service, best of class support. And that goes all the way back to Jim Richmond, the founder's visions. That's what made this company successful in its first 43 years. And that's what's going to keep it being successful going forward.
Pat and Brad, if you have any comments you would like to make in closing, I'd appreciate that. Thank you. And thank you very much, Pat and Brad, for hosting and speaking.
We're grateful to all of our investors and potential investors and those enthusiasts that are just fans of our company. Folks are flying our aircraft all over the world on Microsoft Flight Simulator and radio control models, and the Carbon Cub and the X Cub have become iconic aircraft in the backcountry. And we're just humbly grateful to be a part of that. The questions were great, and I wish we could answer every one of them, but we appreciate the enthusiasm and the opportunity today to chat with everybody. We're excited about our future and excited that folks that want to be a part of that future. So thank you for the time today.
Brad, do you have any comments that you'd like to add?
For those of you thinking about investing at CubCrafters, there's some time left. We're a great company here in Yakima, Washington. We build best of class personal adventure aviation aircraft. There's a dedicated team of over 200 people here that work hard every day to get that done. We'd love you to join our team. You can do that by investing in our company. We'd love to have you be part of our journey.